Hello friends of the Bible in Minutes. Today, we embark on an epic adventure that takes us to the heart of Egypt, where an unexpected hero is born. In a time of oppression and despair, a story of courage and destiny emerges that would change the course of history. Join us as we unravel the origin of Moses, the boy who was born to be much more than just a simple shepherd. Imagine Egypt with its imposing pyramids and the majestic Nile flowing like a lifeline, but beneath the splendor lies a grim reality. The Pharaoh, fearful of the growing number of Israelites, orders the unthinkable, that every newborn Hebrew boy be thrown into the river. In this dark context, a brave Hebrew mother makes a desperate act of faith to save her son. In a basket of reeds, carefully sealed with pitch and asphalt, little Moses is placed by his mother among the reeds at the edge of the Nile. Her heart beats with hope and fear as the current carries the child toward an uncertain fate. Divine providence intervenes when the Pharaoh's daughter, bathing in the river, discovers the weeping baby. Moved by his cries, she decides to adopt him as her own son, unaware that she was raising the future liberator of Israel. Moses grows up in the palace, educated as a prince of Egypt, oblivious to his humble beginnings. However, his heart never stopped beating in rhythm with the Hebrew people. One day, upon witnessing the cruel reality of his people, Moses makes a decision that would change everything. In an act of justice and fury, he defends a Hebrew slave, leading him to face the consequences of defying the power of the Pharaoh. Knowing his life in Egypt was over, Moses flees into the unknown, toward the land of Midian. Upon arriving in Midian, Moses finds himself in a world completely different from the splendor of the Egyptian palaces. Exhausted and alone, he sits by a well, reflecting on the turn his life has taken. But Midian offers more than just refuge. It becomes the setting for a new beginning. Here, Moses not only finds safety, but also a family. In Midian, Moses performs an act of bravery that defines his character by defending the daughters of Jethro, the priest of Midian, from aggressive shepherds. He shows his innate willingness to fight for justice. This act of kindness and strength earns him the respect and gratitude of Jethro, who, in appreciation, welcomes him into his home. Moses, who had fled Egypt as a fugitive, finds in Jethro a father-in-law, mentor, and friend. The years in Midian are a time of growth for Moses. He marries Zipporah, one of Jethro's daughters, and becomes a shepherd of his father-in-law's flocks. This period of tranquility and deep reflection prepares Moses for his destiny. In the silence of the desert, far from the clamor and injustice of Egypt, Moses forges a deeper connection with God and with himself. However, the call of destiny soon arrives. At Mount Horeb, known as the Mountain of God, Moses encounters the burning bush, a moment that would forever change his life. God speaks to him from the bush, setting it ablaze, but without consuming it, and entrusts him with the mission to liberate the Israelites from slavery in Egypt. Despite his doubts and fears, Moses accepts the call, marking the beginning of one of the greatest stories of redemption ever told. With the divine command in his heart, Moses faces a crucial crossroads. The task before him is daunting. He must return to Egypt, confront the Pharaoh, and lead his people to freedom. Moses' transformation from a shepherd in the desert to a leader willing to challenge the greatest power of his time is a testament to the power of faith and conviction. Before leaving, Moses has a revealing conversation with Jethro. In it, he expresses his fears and doubts, but also his determination to follow God's call. Jethro, understanding the magnitude of the mission and the role Moses must play, gives him his blessing. This approval symbolizes not only familial support, but also the recognition that Moses is destined for something much greater than the life he had known in Midian. With Jethro's blessing and the support of his family, Moses undertakes the journey back to Egypt. He does not go alone. His wife Zipporah and their sons accompany him. As they traverse the desert, Moses reflects on the challenges that await him. He knows that liberating his people from slavery will not be easy, and that he must fully trust in God to guide him through the forthcoming trials. Moses' arrival in Egypt marks the beginning of a new phase in his mission. Armed with faith in God's promises and a staff that would become a symbol of his divine authority, he is ready to face his destiny. As Moses approaches the imposing structures of Egypt, his heart beats with a mix of determination and nervousness. The land that once saw him grow will now witness his greatest challenge. With every step towards the Pharaoh's palace, Moses rehearses the words God gave him, words that would be his guide and protection before the most powerful court of antiquity. It is a moment of deep reflection on the power of faith and the courage needed to face the giants in our lives. This chapter of our story closes with Moses standing at the gates of destiny, ready to change the course of history with words that would resonate through the centuries. Let my people go. The determination in his eyes is a beacon of hope for the oppressed and a challenge to the powers that seek to maintain the status quo. And so, friends of the Bible in Minutes, as Moses prepares for this monumental task, we too must prepare for what is to come. The next chapter, The Plagues of Egypt, promises to be an even more thrilling narration of miracles, challenges, and the unbreakable faith of a man against the greatest empire on earth. Make sure to tune in, because this journey is about to become even more astonishing. Get ready to witness how a man, guided by the hand of God, carries out one of the most extraordinary acts of liberation ever seen. Moral: the story of Moses teaches us about the importance of faith and courage in the face of adversities. Through his journey, from being saved from the waters of the Nile to becoming the leader who would confront the Pharaoh of Egypt, we learn that no situation is so desperate that it cannot be transformed by faith and action guided by God. Moses shows us that true leadership arises not just from power and authority, but from humility, trust in God, and the courage to do what is right, even when the path ahead seems uncertain. Prayer. Almighty Lord, who guided Moses from the waters of the Nile to the sands of Midian, instill in us the same faith and courage that sustained his heart in moments of doubt and fear. Help us to recognize your presence in our lives, guiding us towards our divine purpose. Give us the strength to face adversities with courage and the wisdom to act according to your will. May we be instruments of your peace and love, bringing light to dark places, just like Moses. Amen.